Hey guys, my name is Justin and welcome to Hellsboro, where we care about the design behind designer luxury. If you do too, make sure to subscribe! Also, I'm weirdo, so if you like that. For today's video, I am gonna do a let's see that I didn't really plan on doing just because I thought it was kind of interesting. I was on YouTube and I was like watching some of the Resort 24 collections that were coming out. This one kind of caught my eye and I decided to stop watching so that I could watch it with you guys. So I guess let's just get started. Let's crack open this cold one known as Gucci Cruise 24. Okay, so one thing I do know about this cruise collection is that it is in Seoul, which is in South Korea. That's like the one thing that I know. Okay. Instantly slay. I don't know, I like this like really long nylon puffer coat thing. It's very sporty. It gives me a little bit of Prada. I love this. I love this form-fitting, sequined out, long sleeve top with like kind of a half glove. Like that's crazy. So this bag, first off, I like the color of it. I like the contrast of like this like highlighter yellow on this like really rich purple. But the shape of this bag is like reminding me of like, I think it's called like the beef bag from Bottega Veneta, but it has the same kind of like envelope shaped triangle flap with like a rib on the edge of it. I'm not saying like either one is like referencing the other necessarily, or it could just have been like a traditional bag shape that both parties used, but it like really reminds me of that bag. I do have to say I love this setting. I think it's so beautiful. Like look at those colors. Oh, does this look not remind you guys of Prada? A floor length skirt made out of nylon. The inside of it's red, which maybe is a little flashy for Prada, but like some red details totally make sense. The fold over waist maybe isn't super Prada, but then like the top part being like a short sleeve zip turtleneck with like the long tab and then it says Gucci, it just feels very Prada. It's that very like luxury sportswear kind of aesthetic that I think carries part of the Prada brand. I just find that a little interesting. This is actually the moment when I was like, hold on, I want to talk about this. I'm not saying like this is meant to be like ripping Prada or anything like that, but it does feel suspiciously similar. And I do know that the idea behind this collection and any cruise collection in general is that when you take it to somewhere, you pull inspiration from wherever you are. Like I'm raising my eyebrow a little bit. Okay, I find this very interesting. So it's kind of like a briefcase bag, but then there's like an attachment for a skateboard. It feels very streetwear, but it almost feels like a little like Louis Vuitton-esque, you know? Which I mean like a bag to carry your skateboard or whatever is not a new idea. It's not a new concept at all. It's been like prevalent in streetwear or just like skating culture in general. Like, I love the idea of like a Gucci skateboard. I think it's so silly. It reminds me of like Chanel when they do all of like the sporting equipment. Like there's like the Chanel like surfboard that's like $30,000 or something now. I don't remember. $10,000. How much is a surfboard? Watch $10,000 be a steal. I have a feeling that like some of the details on the clothes here are pulled from like traditional Korean garb. I don't think I talked about the first look, but this is the second look that is showing this same kind of like rectangular bow, and I think it's very pretty. With this garment, it feels kind of like mismatched. I probably look crazy because I'm just like wearing whatever, and my hair, well, I think my hair looks fine. So that whole idea of the ribbon does actually come from like a traditional Korean garb. There is a bow that's that kind of like rectangular ribbony kind of shape, and that's what closes the joguri jacket. They say it's a basic upper garment of the hanbok, a traditional Korean garment which is worn by both men and women. And then, okay, so then the closures are called gorum, which are like the coat strings attached to the breast part to tie the joguri, which I think is a little weird considering it's meant to be a closure of something and they just kind of like put it on some pieces that don't need closure. I mean, maybe if you look closer, they actually are open, but that's not what it looked like to me. But I still think that, at least for like the coat, I think that's really interesting. And in general, like, just looking through... Okay, hold on. let me finish my thought. Looking through these looks, it feels kind of like piecemeally. Like we're seeing some very like interestingly structured looks, we're seeing some very streetwear looks, and then we're seeing this kind of like mix between like a designed piece with streetwear. Like you can see the inspiration, and it's like maybe it's not so random, but it's more like a gradient. Like we're seeing like modern traditional and streetwear like as it's known, and like somewhere in between we're finding like that middle ground. But like I love this bag. A long time ago I did a video on like illusion bags or something, where it's like these bags have like such an interesting structure. Acne has a distortion bag, and there's for sure like at least a few others that have this kind of like lopsided shape to them when you're talking about a bag shape and structure. But I just think it's hilarious that Gucci decided to also like join in on that. I think it shows like a little bit of a sense of humor. I feel like it's a little bit like makes it look like a follower. And I understand this is like the last oh yeah, another thing I know is that this is the last collection that is the design team rather than, I forgot who the new guy is. I have to look it up, but it's, so it feels like a little bit of like, oh no, we're just like catching up. Where like this powerhouse brand kind of like plays it safe, I guess, while there's not a creative director. But I still think it's funny. I still think it's interesting. It's like a school bag, like the Parenza Schooler PS1, kind of like, oh, I'm a child in, I don't know, the 20s or 40s or something, and I'm going to school instead of the mines, so this is a bag I'm carrying. Whatever, you know? But then like the fact that like it's doing this optical illusion that like you have something small on one end, bigger on the other end, and it makes it look like it's like at an angle. I think it's super interesting. Why have I seen these overalls?
It's me!
Wait, I like this bag this person is holding. It's like a thin rectangle. It looks like it can't be more than like 1.5 inches thick, maybe 2 inches. The whole flap of it is the whole size of the bag, but then on the underside there's like a top handle that you can use to carry it. This absolutely has to be a vintage piece, because I have a backpack from Gucci that I never use that has the same kind of handle, so this must have been from like the same time. Oh, I like this one though, this is cute. I'm not a huge fan of like the gigantic horse bit on the side, although it doesn't look like it's like metal, it almost looks like embossed leather or debossed leather, whichever, I always forget which one it is. Oh, I like the movement of this dress. There's a lot of texture going on, it makes her look bottom heavy. Okay, here's the thing though about this backpack. You can absolutely find this backpack on like eBay or Vestiaire, especially like since this like cruise runway just came out. If you really want one of these and you still want it cheap, you can get one of these for probably like below 500 or like 500-ish, maybe less even. And then you know they're gonna sell this now for like over 2,000. So if you want it, get it. I like that brooch. I love that it's just dangling. Like I get logo mania is like out, but I love that it's like a giant GG in crystal, and then there's like pearls coming down from it. I would love to see that on a brooch. I would love to see that in someone's hair. I would love to see that brooch everywhere. I like the bag better in the not crocodile or alligator. I like it better in just the leather, and then I like it with the silver hardware. I love this. I am not a fan of these shoes though. Those remind me of like, what is it? The Balenciaga Speed sneakers, like the little sock sneakers that they had. I love this. This is a wetsuit, and then they put on like a really... What? This is crazy. What is that? Hold on.
Oh my god, what is that?
I know, it's just a vest. And it's probably a wool, so I can't wear it, but I love how it just looks like a huge rectangle on the back, just padded. It's great. Okay, please do not think I'm weird, but the styling on this person is making me think of Zendaya. I don't know why. I think maybe it's like the sunglasses mixed with like the hair being combed over. I don't know. And then like, yeah, like I don't know. Even though Zendaya is like Louis Vuitton's ambassador or whatever, but this is crazy. Okay, this looks like it's a dress, and then there's just like a huge print of like...
Oh my god, what is that?
No, yeah, it is Jello. It's like a Jello that came out of like one of those Jello molds, just right on the front. It makes me actually really think of like Loewe or J.W. Anderson, something that Jonathan Anderson had done. Just like something like strange going on there. If they make this bag so that it also has a crossbody, I might actually be interested in it. Weird. I really thought I was gonna be done with Gucci after Alessandro Michele left, but I don't know. We'll see. Wait, I love that this. Hold on. I didn't understand what was going on with this look at first. So this is like it looks like it's like a neoprene like swimsuit, but like the actual like full body suit. But it's a dress. But it's not like bodycon, which I think is interesting. I actually really like this look. But initially I was just like, I like these sunglasses. Because I was like, ooh, pink with the black. But black pink. Oh my god. Whoa, that's interesting. That's feeling super Y2K. This bag is crazy. It's very like Christian Dior when Galliano was at the helm. Rip. I'm just kidding. The saddle bag. They had this like classic car motif where some of them even had like license plates, but they had that kind of like quilting that made you think of like those old school like bench seats that cars used to have. And this is absolutely giving me that feeling, especially in this very like offensive, like bright yellow with the black details. It's giving a little bit of like Bumblebee, like, and of course, what would it be without a full like Gucci monogram top to bottom look? Here it says Gucci on the back. Okay, first off, I want to talk about how incredible these like lilac pants are. They're covered in crystals. I love that the backside is completely blank though, because like you don't want to sit on crystals and you're gonna like break them anyway. So normally I think that's dumb, but here I'm okay with it. But like again, we're seeing that kind of like same quilting in like the stripes, and it makes me think of like a classic car. But then here it's like super glittery, like a sequined material or something. And then you get kind of like that Gucci stripe, but then it's like a hot pink and then a pastel pink or something like that. That is serving C-word. When I saw this on like the first post Alessandro Michele collection, I was like, this bag is not it. It looks dated, but then all of the updates that they've done for it in the cruise collection, I think it's phenomenal. I could see Jisoo or Lisa from Blackpink wearing this like super sparkly. Maybe because it's, wait, who's the one? Which one is the ambassador for Chanel? Is Lisa Celine? And then Jisoo's Dior? I don't know. Whoever's the Chanel ambassador. I do like it though. I like that it's extra sparkly. Whoa, look at that. Whoa, I like that. It's super boxy. It looks like this person's a Lego. Ooh, yay! I like that bag. It's in black and it has silver hardware. What is that? Is that a horse on a keychain? It looks like one. Why? Whoa, I love this. Let me back up. It's like a leather coat in the style of a moto jacket. I'm obsessed. If I had $12,000 or however much it's probably gonna cost, I would get this. If you're rich and you want to buy this for me, ooh, that was nice. Iridescent, prismatic. It's very like beetle shell, you know? Like it's like green, but when it shifts and different light hits it from a different angle, you see it in this like lilac. That's pretty. More jello, you know, because why not? But I like it. I like the contrast of like the yellow and the like hot pink, like dragon fruit. Dang, that's a thick pearl necklace. Wait, I like this. I love this jacket. It's giving like that kind of like corset energy, but then like if astronauts slayed, this is what they would wear. Ooh, I'm not a fan. Did y'all see that? I'm not a fan of the stripe on the back. Ooh, ooh. You guys, it was already interesting enough. What is this, Forever 21, where you just keep adding until you're like, yeah, that's good. Like, Avril Lavigne? Was that not Avril Lavigne? They really don't want us to see Avril Lavigne. It's because it's Melissa. Do you guys know that theory where it's like, oh, Avril Lavigne was actually like, she like died in an accident, but she was so successful they replaced her with a clone named Melissa? I love that conspiracy theory. And this is Melissa. We have that like dirty blonde hair with a little bit of the roots showing, tiny glasses, and this very slinky tank top. It feels very like Avril Lavigne / Melissa. Like if I had to pick a favorite conspiracy theory, it would be the Melissa Avril Lavigne one. I think it's cute. Again, the wallet chain, jeez. Who are we, Guy Fieri? I have no idea if he wears one. I think he could pull it off. I also just have a lot of respect for Guy Fieri. Again, this ribbon, I like it. It's growing on me. I like this color of like the lilac and the bright red. It reminds me of, it was a capsule collection with Kim Jones and Marc Jacobs for Fendi. And there was like this kind of color combination. Like you saw like neon yellows and like this lilac and red and black and gray. If you like just like look at the surface, it's kind of off-putting, but then you like actually look at it and look into the details and the way that the colors go together and it's perfect. You have this very like cherry red. So it's kind of like almost like a blue red with this like soft lilac where there's a lot of blue and the undertones of this purple, but it's a super light one, so they complement each other actually, even though it like looks kind of funky. I like it. I think we're just gonna start seeing those kinds of like colorways where it's like these very soft pastels and bolds. I'm sure that they're already very prevalent and I'm just like talking out of my butt though. I just want to see this bag in the Gucci monogram. I don't know, there's something about the Gucci monogram that I like really like now. Now that like Logomania is done, I'm like, okay, I'm ready to jump on this trend. Like, I think it's cute. I love that a decent amount of these models have that kind of androgynous look, so I'm like, yeah, I can pull that off. Look at that jawline! Oh my god, that's crazy. Do I have one? Oh my god! What? So we are seeing that like short sleeve turtleneck with the zip, but then we're seeing like the ribbon motif that has been happening, and then there's these arm warmers that I haven't really focused on because like whatever, but like adding them on, and then they're the same material as the ribbon, and they're kind of like making the short sleeve turtleneck into like a long sleeve, and then the bag is like fully like crystal, like rhinestoned out. I'm so into this look. I love it, and it's completely neutral, but then it's just crazy buck wild. Big fan of this. You know, like going into this, when I first saw the first few looks, I was like, this looks like, oh, and you know what? These like scuba tops and stuff like that, with like the mix of like formal wear, like this like silk satin, like long A-line skirts or whatever, like very full skirts. It feels very off-white. Back when Virgil Abloh was like still at the helm, and he did like these like hoodies with like the full ball gown or the full ball skirt attached to it. Like it's very that. And this is what I'm getting to. So I'm not saying that like I feel like there's a lot of like influence from brands that are already pretty prevalent with streetwear, including Gucci itself, but like it feels very like a mismatch in a way of like just picking and choosing different aspects of streetwear and different levels of it, just doing this spectrum of like types of looks with that. Oh, okay. Well, guess what? That was the final look. So that was a first look at the Gucci Cruise Runway for 2024. So like I said, like I started watching it and then I was like, hold on, I need to talk about it. I honestly didn't know how I was gonna feel about it after watching the whole thing, because when I first was like, I need to talk about it, it's because I was gonna be like, this looks like a reference to that, this doesn't look original, blah blah blah. And I still don't know how I feel. Because to me there were a lot of like elements that felt like they came from like other design houses and not even like older callbacks or anything like that, like any throwbacks or whatever. Like I said, I definitely liked a lot of like the individual pieces. I just don't know about like the cohesive idea of like this runway collection. Alright, I'm back. I did a little bit of reading after I like watched through, and I did see that it was a reference to like streetwear of Seoul. Like when you see those like loose silhouettes, like just volume and like the mix of different types of shapes and structures and things like that, that is supposed to actually be very like referential to the street style. So I thought that was super interesting. But that all white look of like the turtleneck, the crystal pants, and the crystal bag, I love that so much. But for me, really the standout was like the horse bit shoulder bag, but the one that was like lopsided, like the size. I love that, and I'm kind of obsessed, even though that kind of bag shape and structure has been around for a while. I just love that it's like a reference of a bag that I know about, and then them playing with the proportions. I think for me, that's what makes it so interesting. Like if you were to do that with like a Louis Vuitton, like a key ball or something like that, where you have the proportions like uneven, I would be in love with it. Something that's kind of like well known and you just make it a little weird, huge fan of that. But I don't know, let me know what you guys think. But that is all I have for you today. So if you like this video, please make sure to like and subscribe. It lets me know that you like this kind of content and that you too care about the design behind the designer luxury. Until next time. No, wait, what do they do? Like in K-pop, they go, I really wish you guys could hear this music. I really like the music. It's really nice. I'm like having a good time.